Going on? It's your boy Lionel, class of 2009, back with another episode of PV versus everybody. And I hope y'all are excited. I hope y'all are ready. We're in mid-November, and you know what that means when you get to mid-November and your team still has hope. That's what we got. We got hope. But we got multiple teams with hope right now. At the end of Saturday, we could have two teams that are playing for the SWAC Championship in their various sports. We can have two teams, volleyball and football. We can have two teams. It is possible. This is the year of the Panther. It's the year of the Panther. What's going on, Q? Thank you for joining us. Class of 2007 in the house. I feel you. So you was there when I was there, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't know if we crossed paths, but class of 09 in the house here. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we have hope. We have hope. All right. And if you got hope, you still got something to hold on to. All right. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to discuss that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We got a couple of segments we're talking about today. We're going to talk about this Southern game recap. We got PV Fantasy, you know what I'm saying, this week. Very exciting PV Fantasy. We got ASU for all the marbles, keys to the game, score prediction. We're gonna talk about players to watch. Of course, we're talking about men's and women's hoops this week. Listen, it's basketball season, baby. It's basketball season. Of course, we got Panther 20 Questions Sports Edition, and we're gonna start it off like we always do with the SWAC Volleyball Tournament preview. You know what I'm saying? Talking about class. You know what I'm saying? Talking about this year's volleyball team and their chances. Jared, what it do? Class of 2009. Listen. The best 4 years of Panther history from 05 to 09. Get with it. You know what I'm saying? So G Boom say you checking in here. Listen, the Lady Panthers are murdering North American. It is 70-23 right now. Like they're just completely like washing them. Okay, which is great. All right, so this will be win number 3 on the season. Of course, we're gonna talk about that a little later. Got G Boom in the house, class of 85. Listen. It's exciting, man. This is exciting year to be a Panther. This is the year of the Panther. And I think we're gonna get it done. Right? I think we're gonna get it done. But let's jump into it, man. Let's talk about it. If you guys have not, right? If you didn't get a chance to see the interview with Coach Lindsay from earlier this week on Monday, had a chance to sit down with her. Listen, she has a special place on PV versus everybody. First coach we've been able to interview on the channel. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate it, right? First coach to come jump on here, you know what I'm saying, to have a conversation, talk a little bit about her past history, what brought her to PV, talk about her philosophy when it comes to recruiting and her style of coaching. Man, I think it was an awesome interview. Definitely go check it out if you haven't checked it out. But she's ready. And the ladies are ready. And I like what she said, right? I like what she said on the interview when she said that she came in with expectations. She came in with expectations. And I don't know if y'all remember from a long time ago in August, we had a conversation about this, that you got to have expectations. When you're talking about, we were discussing what would make us a better fan base, right? That's what the conversation was. I don't know if y'all remember this conversation we had earlier this year, but I said, listen, we got to have expectations. You got to have expectations. If you a fan base with no expectations, then you ain't, that's like a prerequisite of being an actual fan base. It's to actually expect something from your team, from your program, from your coaches. Got to have expectations. And she said, listen, they know what to expect. Practice, they know what to expect. It's on the board. It ain't, nope. Everybody knows the expectations. So if they don't meet the expectations, they know what it is, right? But everybody knows. And she comes in saying, listen, every gym we walk into, you walk into that gym believing and knowing that you can win, that you can compete with that team that's across from you, right? That's what she brought to this program. She said from day one, walking in, not we building, not next year, not 3 years from now, not when I get the next recruiting class in, right now, today. Right now, today. So that's the expectation she's brought to this program. I'm excited about it. I hope Panther Nation is excited about it because I think championship number 1 is going to come in year uno. Year number 1. They can do it, right? They're on par with all the rest of these teams here in the SWAC. Alabama State is obviously the clear number 1 team in the SWAC. It's without a shadow of a doubt, hands down, they are clearly the number 1 team in the SWAC. Period, point blank. They're the team to beat. And if Coach Lindsay and the Lady Panthers are going to get over the hump, that's the hump they got to get over, right? If we're looking at the bracket, right, we're talking about Texas Southern in the first game. Can't look past them. Rivalry game. Just played them. Just swept them this past Friday. You can't overlook them. Got to come in with the mentality to take care of one match at a time. If they get past, when they get past Texas Southern, you're most likely going to see FAMU, right? You will love if Grambling gets over that hump. But listen, I'm ready for FAMU. And then when you get past FAMU, you got to take care of the Hornets because they are the team to beat. There's no questions about it. 14-0, 16-0 in SWAC play, right? Alabama State is that team. Like you know what the kids say. Like Alabama State would be saying, like, I'm her. Okay? That's what they're saying over there. I'm her. And they wouldn't be lying. They are her. If you look at the previous history, SWAC Championship Volleyball, Coach Alabama State can tip her hat because she's her. And her team is what that is. And so these Lady Panthers are going to get over that hump. That's the hump they got to get over. That's the number. But this is not Goliath. All right? This is not David versus Goliath. This team is on par with all of these teams. They can win this SWAC tournament. They can win this SWAC tournament. And it starts tomorrow. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock tomorrow in the Baby Dome. Be there. It's not even like, no. Be there to root on this team. Right? All the games are going to be on the SWAC Digital Network. The championship game on the SWAC Digital Network as well. It's going to be replayed on ESPNU Sunday night at 9. So by that time, we will already know that the Lady Panthers got a SWAC championship. 4 o'clock tomorrow, it starts with Texas Southern. Once they win that game, their second match is going to be at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Football game starts at 2. By 4 o'clock, that game should already be wrapped up anyway. All right, it's just an hour. So 4 o'clock, they got the game on Saturday, Baby Dome. Most likely against FAMU, right? Very worthy opponent. And then when they win that game, the championship game is 2 o'clock on Sunday. Make sure you're facing in the building before the Lady Panthers. Listen, I'm also excited actually to see that 4-5 matchup with Alabama A&M and Jackson State. Both have 2 good teams this year. So I think that 4-5 is going to be a great match as well. Again, like I said, all of these are going to be on the SWAC Digital Network. If you have time, show SWAC some support, show volleyball show support, stop putting your eyes on the product. But definitely, most importantly, show the Lady Panthers some support. Can y'all hear me? I see Boom say volleyball. Can you guys hear me? Right there, Like that, Uncle. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check 1 2. Can you guys hear me now? Y'all good? All right. Cool. They trying to do something. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? The champ is here. So, like I said, though, man, this weekend, show SWAC Volleyball, show support. Put your eyes on the product starting Friday through Sunday. But like I say, most importantly, show the Lady Panthers your support as well, right? By putting your face into place. Again, scored a Lady Panthers game right now, 80-30 over North American, about 30 seconds left in the third quarter. So they're going to look like they're going to hit 100 again. So let's keep it moving. Let's talk about this game from yesterday. Let's talk about this game. And again, anybody trying something new, got the call in here. So if you guys are interested in calling in and sharing your thoughts, you see the number down at the bottom on the ticker. 27-21. 27-21, tough fought game over Southern. Listen, they went in and they got the win. I was definitely happy again. My personal opinion, I am happy with the direction that the defense has been moving in. Now, FAMU game, right? But again, I've always said that my biggest issue is the offense, because you can't put any defense on the field for any extended amount of time and think that defense is going to be able to hold up forever. I just can't imagine it, right? So my issue has always been primarily on the offensive side, right? But the defense has shown me personally in different spurts here and there that they can be a defense that plays well, right? They're not Alabama State's defense, but I think this defense can play well enough to put you in position and put you in spots to win if you have a complementary offense to go with it. And so 27-21 win against Southern. I was happy to see some explosive plays from the offense, but I think there's still, it's, for you out there, I mean, it's like you're making some orange juice or some fresh squeezed orange juice, and it's just like your kid just throwing oranges away, and it's like, there's a whole bunch of juice left in that orange. Why are you throwing it in the trash can? That's how I feel right now, okay? Because I feel like there's a whole bunch of juice left in that orange to squeeze. The offense could do a lot more than what it's doing. I mean, there's a lot more plays to be had. There's a lot of times that I don't think they're making the right reads. There's a lot of times that I feel the play calling still is so and so. I think the offense has so much more it could do and provide for this team, because I think this should have been easily a 2-score game, a 2-score win. I think this should have definitely been a 2-score win easily, right? We should have definitely cracked 30 points, just as in the UAPB game. We should have cracked 40 points, just as in the Valley game. We should have cracked 40 points. It's like we always leaving some. I'm actually, I'm a plant-based eater, but it's like, listen, you guys know, y'all been to places and y'all seen people eating some wings, and you see them throwing the wings back and putting them in the basket, and you like, you don't see his meat still on that bone. That's what I feel with our offense. Our offense is leaving meat on the bone. They're leaving juice in the orange. It's like it's still more there to be had, right? That's my issue, right? You know what I'm saying, with this team so far. But you know what I'm saying, I'm super. I like the defense and the direction it's moving in. I have seen. You know what I'm saying, DC Fosselman try to add some wrinkles on defense. I've seen the defense give a certain look to Southern, and then switch to a different switch out of that original base look that they were in to maybe a blitz, right? From another direction, that they were trying to get Southern to think that the blitz is coming from the right side, right? And then they bring the cornerback from the left, right? I've seen some wrinkles that I'm liking. I'm like, okay, I'm liking that they're trying to be a little bit more creative on the defensive side of the ball. I want the offense to get to that point. Now, listen, that reverse to Bloomfield, excellent. I love it, right? But again, right, it's just some stuff that's still left. Yeah, listen, 4 touchdowns off the board at Southern. Again, I know Q already, we left some points on the board. You know what I'm saying? He feels the same way. You know what I mean? So let's get to it, right? Talk about the good. Again, we talked about a little bit second half defense. The second half defense. Now, again, we talked about UAPB and only giving up 1 yard passing, and it's like that's just crazy, right? But again, you have to take it, because when has your defense ever stepped up like that? Not even against Mississippi Valley did they do that, right? So you got to take that as a win. And coming from giving up 1 yard passing, right, under 20 points scored, to now, again, you give up only 21 points, no points in the second half, 4 3-and-outs in the second half, 2 turnover on downs in the second half. It was very reminiscent of the Alcorn game. Alcorn came back second half, scored on that first drive. After that, nothing. 3-and-outs, nothing except for that last drive, right? So you're talking about that last drive, we know, with that missed tackle, right? But you looked on there and said, man, you had 4 or 5 good dominating drives of defense, and you saw it again this game with Southern, to where the second half completely shut them out. You're talking about only 12 yards on 6 drives. 12 yards on 6 drives, no first downs. 45 of the 57 yards they got in the second half was from that last Hail Mary heave. That's it. Defense was A+ is what I would give them, right? Now, again, not happy Not happy with that last drive of the first half, but we'll talk about that in the back. Number 2, gave up no huge big plays, right? Even when you talk about the drives in the first half where Southern scored, you had one short field from that fumble, and then you had 2 drives of 75 yards, basically, right? Hey, listen, if a team is going to do no team in the SWAC is going to be able to drive the ball 70 plus yards day in and day out all through the game. It's not going to happen, right? So if you just don't give up big plays, you're going to be in good position. And so this defense, again, did not give up good plays. You know what I'm saying? They did not give up big plays. I'm happy with that because early in the year, that's all they were doing. Blowing assignments, giving up big plays. So again, that's why I have to say, man, listen, the defense, I've seen improvement from the defense in the play call. I've seen improvement in the defense in how they have taken care of business, especially in the second half of games. The other thing is they won the line of scrimmage. And that's both on the offensive and the defensive side, right? They gave Conley time to throw the ball, right? They won the line of scrimmage on the defensive end. I mean, Southern, which has a great defensive line, right? I mean, but which defensive line played better this game? It was without a doubt our defensive line won the show. They won the day, right? So they did what they needed to do. So I'm super, super excited about both of that. The defense gives me excitement to say, I know we have a chance and we should beat Alabama State because Alabama State already doesn't have a great offense, right? But if the defense just says, I'm not going to give up big plays, I'm going to win a line of scrimmage. Alabama State is not driving the field 75, 80 yards. That is not happening. They're not doing that multiple times. It's not happening, right? Unless we give them short fields, right? But again, I know I'm jumping ahead of myself, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the bad now, right? We already talked about leaving plays on the field. We always talk about leaving touchdowns. We got to cap drives with touchdowns. We got to cap drives with touchdowns. Touchdowns, not field goal tries, touchdowns. And a lot of time it's either we miss a read, we don't take the short pass to get the first down. It's just like I said, right? It's just something we're just missing, to take this offense to the next level. The other thing is, right, second half, we've seen this multiple times. The offense gets stagnant in the second half on drive. When we get up, we don't put the nail in the coffin, right? That drive when we fumbled, that kept Southern in the game. I mean, we have all the momentum. We stopped them on the first 2 drives of the game. They don't score, but we get the ball back and we fumble. Listen, they were not stopping us on offense, right? Like we had all the momentum. We should have went up 10-0 or 14-0 and just really put the nail in the coffin, right? Second half, same thing, right? We're up. We just can't get through, right, to put the ball in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they had 2 missed field goals this past game too as well. And the last thing I say, right, from a defensive standpoint, that last minute score in the first half, wasn't really excited about that, right? Wasn't excited about that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stop Southern and not let them, drive that ball 75 plus yards, right, for that score. So, but again, overall though, if I had to give a grade to the defense, listen, the defense gets an A+ from me. They get an A+ from me. Yeah, 21 points. All right, listen, we should be able to score more than 21 points. I'm sorry, right? But 21 points, okay, I want it to be less than that, but no big plays in that. You made them drive 75 plus yards on all those drives. You shut them out in the second half. 4 3-and-outs, 2 turnovers down. A+ from the defense, right? Offense, C. A C. It's just too much that you left on the field for me. It's just too much you left there, right? So for me, I would give them a C. Yes, I'm saying the defense has made adjustments, even in the second half, and the offense hasn't, right? And I've seen that in 3 games from the defense, right? So I can say, like, man, I'm seeing some stuff from the defense, right? So players of the game, Trezon 10-16, 184 yards, a touchdown, 19 carries, so 54 yards. I don't like that is only 16 passes. 16 passes, 48 runs. I don't like that mixture. I don't like you having 64 plays and you only throwing the ball 16 times when you got all of these weapons out wide, right? Like the bulk of our weapons are out wide. We are hurt in the backfield right now. Now we got players to keep it moving, but our strength is in our wideouts. I think we need to be a little more balanced than that, right? Now, I don't want Conley going crazy, throwing the ball crazy, because I want him to be able to make the right reads, right? Just get them all to our playmakers. But I think you got to put the ball in the air at least 22 times, 23 times, right? You know what I'm saying? The completion percentage is going to be around 50%. That's what we've seen throughout this year and last year. So, you're going to get about half of those caught, and you really need to put your ball in playmakers' hands more than 10 times. That's not enough. Savage needs to be fed more than this, right? But these are players of the game. Again, 10-16, 184 touchdown, 19 carries, 54 yards. Did have that fumble, though. That was a big fumble. But I'm giving him player of the week this game. And CJ Presley with that front seven. Excellent job again. Him, Marshall, Derek Gray Jr., Miles McCaney, like they're just killing it, crushing it. Farrow, like they're playing so well, right? 7 tackles this game, 1 tackle for loss of 4 yards. And of course, another thing is SWAC. Yeah, I think 25 would be good. To me, I'm like somewhere between 22 and 25 a game is where he needs to be. Because again, you're really talking about you're really averaging 50-55% completion percentage. So that's still getting you in that 10 to 15. I really need to see 15 catches at least a game, right? I need you to put the ball in the playmaker's hands 15, 16 times a game in the air, right? They need more touches. Brian Jenkins, Savage, and Spiller are all averaging 2 receptions a game. It don't make sense. 2 receptions a game? 2. Come on, y'all. 2. Every time we throw a screen pass to Savage, he's going to get 10 yards. Every time we get the ball, how many times are we getting the ball to Juice and seeing him get tackled on spot? It just don't happen. So why don't you put the ball in their hands more? I know it's just like a broken clock. We keep saying the same thing over and over again. But, hopefully by the time we get to Saturday, we'll see something different. So half of them can be check downs. Let them boys make that. That's my whole point, right? We can use it as an extension of the running game. Right now, 16-48 pass to runs. If you take 6-7 of those rushing plays and say, okay, instead of those rushing plays, I'm gonna throw the ball to 2 or 3 times to Jamarius Brooks out the backfield, or Antoine, right? I'm gonna throw a screen to 2 more screens to Juice. I'm gonna give Spiller another, slant route, like I'm gonna give Murray a Dylan Domel another drag route, right? Short passes where they can run after the catch. We got playmakers. Use the playmakers, right? So, again, these are things I wish, and maybe that's true, but you can make it easy for him, right? Make it easy and remind him, like, hey, listen, this is the reality, y'all. Conley doesn't have to do that much. Conley doesn't have to do much. Listen, if Conley played the game like Jason Brown played at Jackson State early in the season, that's all he would need to do. Take the short dink and dunks, because you got playmakers that's going to take a 3-yard pass and turn it into 9 yards. You got a playmaker that's going to take a 5-yard pass and turn it into 15 yards. You have that on the field already, so use it. And what is that going to do? That's going to open up the big play that we want to throw all the time anyway, because the safeties is going to keep creeping down, right? And we're going to throw the ball over their head. So, it would make it easy. But you know what I'm saying? We gotta do something for that. So now I did see, I did see something, and I'm hoping that the SWAC will look at this, because I saw my man Derek Gray petitioning the SWAC, and I wanted to play the video for you guys, but I don't think I have it loaded up. I don't have it loaded up already. But he had tagged the SWAC on his Instagram. Because he's saying, listen, I got 7.5 sacks on the season. I don't have 3 sacks as is registered. I got 7.5. And I told y'all this from the Alcorn game, like, these numbers is off. These numbers is wrong, right? And they really can affect some postseason awards if people don't get the numbers they're supposed to be. So I'm hoping the SWAC looks at that, gets my man right, because, yeah, he deserved to have his numbers. Now, where we sitting at, 2 wins in a row. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Can we finish this season with a 3-game win streak? We got 1. We got 2. Can we get the 3rd one? Can we get the 3rd one right against Alabama State? You know what I'm saying? Because it is an opportunity now. It's an opportunity we got now to get to the SWAC Championship Game. Talked about at the beginning of the year, 8-3, right? Again, losses to Grambling, losses to Houston Christian. Wasn't counting on those. I mean, embarrassing loss to Houston Christian. And Grambling was definitely a winnable game. So instead of 8-3, we're sitting 5-5 right now. Still got a chance to face FAMU in the SWAC Championship. And right now, Howard is in the driver's seat to go to the Celebration Bowl. I think they get it done against Morgan State and represent the MEAC instead of NCCU, which I'm not mad about that, to be honest, because from a black college perspective, I'm hoping NCCU's schedule is strong enough. They were ranked in the top 10. I'm hoping that's strong enough to get them at large bid and actually get them into the playoffs. Like, that would be dope to me. Have them have a chance in the playoffs. Howard goes to the Celebration Bowl. I'll be cool with that. But we still got a chance. We got a chance to finish in 6-5, get into the SWAC Championship Game, having a chance to go back to FAM in Tallahassee. We got an opportunity. And listen, we're not going around the SWAC this week. We're not talking about no other SWAC games. We're not talking about, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Grambling does. It doesn't matter if Alcorn beats Jackson State or if they get blown out the water. It doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? Because if we don't beat Alabama State, we don't deserve to go to the SWAC Championship Game. If we don't beat Alabama State, listen, I'm PV Nation all day. If we don't beat Alabama State, we don't need to go to the SWAC Championship Game. You need to handle your business. We need to handle our business, our own. You don't need to worry about nobody else. We don't need help from nobody else. This is a one-on-one, and we can handle ourselves. Either you get it done or you let somebody else go. Listen, Alcorn can go. Grambling can go. Because if we can't beat Alabama State at home to close the season off, 2 losses in a row, we don't deserve to go. You know what I'm saying? He said, what makes Alabama State defense good? They play man-to-man with their DBs, so the linebackers don't have to cover. Put them in coverage to see if they can keep up. And we got the weapons, right, to do that. You know what I'm saying? We really do have the weapons to do that if we go ahead and use it. So let's talk about PV fantasy. Let's talk about that PV fantasy. You know what I'm saying? This week, right, we back again. We back again with that PV fantasy football. So I'm excited. Have 2 more weeks in the season. This week against Bama State is the last week of fantasy. So let's check it out and talk about our week 11 winners. So coming in 3rd place on the podium this week, somebody that you've all been familiar with, all seen multiple times. It's that man, Elvin Price, class of 2005. I told y'all those 4 years are special. 2005, 2009. Those are some special years right there on the yard. You know what I'm saying? So y'all give it up for Elvin Price, 3rd place for week 11, 43.9 points coming in. Had some strong showing, especially on the offensive end. But this week, it was defense that won it, right? Those who finished 2nd and 1st this week, it was because of who they chose on the defensive side of the ball. And so coming in 2nd place, it's the man with all the flicks, the man with all the pitches, the man with all the insight. Y'all know who it is. That man, G-Boom. Raymond Holly, class of 1985, coming in this week with 58.6 points. Almost cracking 60. You know what I'm saying? Almost cracking 60. You know what I mean? But 1st place for this week. 1st place for this week, you know what I'm saying, is a man that needs no introduction. somebody who don't need no praise because he gonna praise and give all of, the big ups to himself. Man, y'all give it up for that man, Richard Atiba, class of 2014, 63.1 points on the week. So again, man, y'all give it up for the fantasy winners for this week. Again, we got 1 week of fantasy football left. Just 1 week of fantasy football left. So make sure y'all have y'all brackets in for this week. Let me make sure that I drop the link for you guys in the chat for you guys to go ahead and get your brackets filled out for PV Fantasy for this week, for the last week. Yeah, G-Boom, sorry. Yeah, you finished second, this week, unfortunately. The Lady Panthers definitely just bust the clock, 101 points this game to 44 from a North American. So the Lady Panthers are now going 3-1 on the season. I think this team has a chance to end. They're definitely going to end the season with the winning record. Because I think they're gonna take a couple more out of conference wins this season too as well. So they just ended that game 101. G Boom said he be cheating. Boom, you need to figure out what he's doing then, man. Got to figure out the insight. Again, let's keep it moving though. Let's get in our 20 questions of the day before we go into our preview for this week's game against ASU. And then we're going to talk some basketball. So let's talk 20 questions. Will this really be homecoming 2.0? Is it really going to be homecoming 2.0? Yeah. We know it's not. But what I'm hoping is we have the real fans in the stands. You know what I'm saying? Those who not just there, to look good, but those who there to cheer good. All right. So hopefully we get that energy because that's what we need this weekend. You know what I'm saying? If we win, are you heading to Tallahassee or not? You know what I'm saying? I know when y'all looked at the bracket earlier this year, y'all didn't believe. Y'all didn't believe like Elvin believed. See, Elvin believed. He had hope. And sometimes during this season, we had to borrow Elvin's hope. We had to borrow his hope and use his hope. So I know Elvin already had it penciled down. You know what I'm saying? I know Elvin had it penciled already, for the SWAC Championship game. But y'all going to Tallahassee, you know what I'm saying? I see we got belief going in the alumni group. We getting buses ready. We getting charters ready. That's the belief we got in this team that they're going to get it done. You know what I'm saying? And yes, we definitely got to show up for this game. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to show up, he's saying Section 107. Section 107. So if y'all really want to turn up, make sure y'all in Section 107. You know what I'm saying? See, we got to borrow Elvin's hope. We had to borrow his hope, right? After FAMU game, we had to take Elvin's hope. After HCU, we had to take Elvin's hope and use that, all right, to get us through. You know what I mean? Let's keep it going. Over under 100 assists for Leah Lawson in the SWAC tournament. I believe they're going to have 3 games. I think they're going to get to the SWAC championship game. This lady is killing it, all right? Leading the SWAC in assists by far. Like, it's not close, right? Over 900 on the season. I mean, some games I've seen her 30 plus, 40 plus assists in one match. Over under 100 assists for Leah Lawson in the SWAC tournament. I mean, I'm taking the over because I know she is the quarterback of this team, as Coach Kerry calls her. And so I know that they're going to be looking for her to set up her teammates right, to to make sure that they're able to return the ball and score efficiently. So I know that she's going to be leaned on heavily starting tomorrow. So I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over on 100 assists for Leah Lawson during the SWAC volleyball tournament. Number 4, why doesn't the university do a better job at marketing athletics to students on campus? What we're hearing is some students ain't even know there was a game. They ain't even know it was a game at home. Now, listen, if we going to have, how many students we got on campus? What? 5,000, on campus? You telling me that you're not letting those students who are walking distance from the stadium know consistently that you got the biggest game of Coach Bubba's tenure this weekend? I mean, we got to do a better job, right, at getting those who are already there out. I was happy to see that faculty and staff, they saying, hey, listen, just come to the game. Just come. Don't worry about paying nothing. Just come to the game, because we need support, and we need supporters there. And again, like I say, we need people there who are ready to get busy and who are ready to turn up, right, and give that energy this weekend. But we got to do a better job at marketing to those who already are there. Number 5. Doesn't it feel good to have a shot at being in 2 SWAC title games? 2. We got a chance to be in 2 SWAC title games by Saturday evening. The reality is there's not that many SWAC schools right now who are in this position. They have a team in volleyball who has a legit shot of winning the tournament. It has a football team that has a legit shot at getting to the SWAC title. Listen, you gotta be excited about PV Nation and about being a Panther right now and having teams that have an opportunity to continue to play. Number 6, after the first full week of action, which basketball team do you think has the best chance of winning the SWAC title this year? Of course, saw the men's team 1-2 on their road trip, getting the win against Abilene Christian, who had beaten Oklahoma State, right, earlier that same week. We saw the women's team get a win against McNeese. Of course, they got the win against North American, had another win early against Houston Tillotson, lost to Tulane. But based on what you've seen in the first week of action, which team do you think has the best chance of winning the SWAC title? I'm gonna take the women. Actually, I'm gonna take the women. That's my thoughts. Richard says he thinks the men, if they can stay healthy, yeah, we definitely got a few players out. But listen, those few players out opened up for boys to really get down these last couple of games, man. Man, them boys put in some work. So I'm gonna take the women. Richard got the men. Y'all let me know what y'all think on that as well. All right, so we just talked about this a little earlier in the Southern recap. But the reality is we know we're probably not getting 25 pass attempts. So my question is, will Trezon have more or less than 13 completions this game? Last week we asked about 15, and he was 10 for 16. So 10 completions, only threw the ball 16 times. How many completions do you think he's going to have this game? It's going to be more or less than 13 completions against Alabama State. All right, this is definitely a stout defense, but what do you think you're going to see from Trezon this game? Think going to be more? Rich is going with the over, more than 13. Man, I really hope he throws for more than 13 completions. I really hope he throws the ball more than 20 times. But based on the trend, you know what I'm saying? Based on the trend, I'm going to have to go with under. You know what I'm saying? Bama State will stack the box and force us to throw. You know what I'm saying? Boom is saying, hopefully we those players cleared in basketball to play for conference play. Okay, I didn't even know we had some players that are still waiting to be cleared. So, hopefully we get everybody ready for sure for SWAC play. I'm going to go with the under, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just going off of trends. But I'm hoping for the over. But I'm going to go with the under. All right. Which player do you think is under the most pressure to perform well against Alabama State in this game? Which player, right? If you had to choose one, you say this player is under the most pressure. Who do you think that is? And why do you think they're under the most pressure? You know, when I was thinking about this question, because I was really thinking like, I don't think anybody's under any pressure. I mean, that's the reason I even asked the question, because I don't think there's no pressure for anyone. You know, I think everybody's just playing. I mean, you would think that he would have the most pressure, but I feel like he don't have no pressure, right? Last season, graduate season, you know what I'm saying? He's done after this year. I mean, but there's no. I mean, if Conley came out and had a bad game and we lost, I mean, I don't think that would change anything for his narrative. I don't think that would change anything for his legacy. Now, I think if he could win and get to the SWAC title, win the SWAC title, that could definitely change the narrative, especially down the line, right? When you get farther away from the actual seasons that he played, because you just look back and say, hey, man, that's the second quarterback to take us to the SWAC title since, you know what I'm saying, KJ Black. That's the only thing you'd be thinking about. You won't be thinking about any of the flaws at that time because you just know, hey, Conley was the quarterback when we won that SWAC title. So that'd be great. But I don't feel like I feel like there's no pressure anywhere. But to me, I feel like that's what I feel like is missing. There needs to be some type of pressure. You know what I'm saying? Some type of something on someone. Now, I will say, if I had to choose somebody, I'm choosing Brian Jenkins. But I think that's pressure that he creates for himself, because I think he really wants to get to the SWAC title game. He really wants another shot at FAMU. He really wants to win, right? And so I would choose Brian Jenkins just off the strength of the pressure he puts on himself to perform, right? You know what I'm saying? I saw one tweet that he had saying, "Listen, it's time to bring up Bron game 6." You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we'll see that type of attitude, not just from him, but for the rest of the team. Number 9, can you hit 33 out of 34 free throws at your neighborhood gym right now? If we took you out and gave you a ball, you going to hit 33 out of 34? Are you that confident in yourself? Because listen, this men's team, listen, they did the thing with their free throws. They did the thing from the free throw line against Abilene Christian. So that win they took was definitely because of that efficiency at the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? But I might not be 33 or 34, but I probably can be I could probably be 29, 28 or 34. I could probably be in that range. All right. What would you like to see from the fans at the game against Alabama State? I would just like to see us there. But more than us there, I would like to see, even if it's not as many fans as I would desire, I would like to see that we are rowdy, that we are energized, right? And that we're giving that energy. I want to see old high school fans. Like when you go to the high school playoff games and it's tense, that's what I want to see from us, right? Because that's something we can build on. Whoever's in the building, if they come with that energy, that way when we get people coming and adding to that crew, we can get people energized, right, and coming with that energy. So that's what I'm hoping to see. I'm just hoping to see us, you know what I'm saying, actually make some noise, right, and not sit on our hands, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm hoping to see. Number 11, will Kylie Owens average more or less than 20 kills per match during the SWAC tournament? Will she average more or less, right? I mean, this is a lady who has been killing it, you know what I'm saying, on the offensive end for the Lady Panthers. And I know, right, this is the time when it's like you go into your big hitters, right? You know what I'm saying? Bailey Hewitt has done an excellent job. Janiyah Henderson has done an excellent job as well. But obviously, Kylie Owens is the straw, right, that stirs this drink here. You know what I'm saying? Next to Leah Lawson as the quarterback of the team, this is your playmaker. Like, this is your go-to player. And so I think I'm going to take the over because I think they're going to go to her a lot during these matches, right? Especially a FAMU match, especially the potential match against Alabama State. I think they're going to give her the rock a lot and put her in a position to try to bring it home for them. So I'm going to take the over on her averaging 20 kills per match. All right, number 12. Over under 3,500 fans in attendance at the Alabama State game. Do you think we're going to have more or less than 3,500? Championship. Hey, listen, this is for all the marbles to get back to the SWAC. Get back to the SWAC championship. PV Nation knows that. The athletic department knows that. I mean, we got the student base to get people there. We got alumni down the street in Houston. I mean, even the alumni in Dallas. You know, last time we was in a position like this, we didn't fare so well. Do you think we're gonna be over or under 3,500 fans? Yeah, I got over. Says more over. What do y'all think? What do y'all think the number gonna be then? If y'all think the over, are we over 4,000? Are we over 5,000? Like where we gonna be? Because November games don't be sitting well, but this is a different November game. This is a November game for all the marbles. So G Boom saying under, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, of course, but they saying most of them don't even know we got a home game. So 4,500, okay. So you're right there. Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna be somewhere in this range. We're gonna be somewhere in this 3,000 to 4,000 range. I don't think it's gonna be too much more of it. I would pretty be shocked actually if it was more than that for this game. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we try to get somewhere, right? But what I do hope is that those 3,000, 4,000 fans, they in the building and they getting it. That's what I do hope, right? So no matter what the number is, I need it to be the passionate PV Nation that shows up to this game. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, you're right. So it is senior day. It's high school band day. So yeah, you're right. That should have been over. I should have put a higher number there. All right. Which basketball player has impressed you so far this season? So far this season, who have you been impressed with? This is both for the men's team and the women's team, right? Which player has impressed you so far this season? I start with the ladies. Number one, Geraldine Smith. I mean, to see her growth so far in these first few games has been tremendous. And I think her growth, I mean, that's just going to add to this mix because, there's a lot of talent on this Lady Panther team this year. But Geraldine Smith, you can see the improvement in her game. I think right now she's averaging close to 10 rebounds a game, probably 8 to 9 rebounds a game right now, right? Had double doubles in 2 games so far this season. She's been playing super well. Of course, the transfer from LSU, Ryan Payne, obviously, right? But the most impressive so far, I would say, is Geraldine, you know what I'm saying, from the ladies team. And then for the men's team, listen, Chris Felix, hey, that man, that guy's been balling, right? I know also Hopkins. Yeah, I was going to mention Hopkins too earlier. In the season, you could see, man, he's super explosive. So he did get hurt though, but I'm excited to see him and that mix of him with also Chris Felix. He's showing that he balls out. So yeah, man, I think those are the guys and the ladies that have stood out so far to me. He said the freshman, yeah. Listen, when I saw that he started Horton, I was like, okay, this guy must be special because with all of these transfers that have come in, for you to start the freshman, like, okay, he must have showed him something, you know what I'm saying, in the preseason to make him start. Yeah, Payne is definitely a baller. I mean, she's gonna kill it in the SWAC. She's gonna definitely kill it in the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited about the games they got coming up. Home game against the Cardinal Word, home game against Washington State, which is a ranked team, number 24 in the nation. They got a couple other games on their schedule too. So, like I said, I think they're going to take a couple more out-of-conference games, as well as the men. I think they're also going to as well. Let's keep it going. Who else can the men's basketball team knock off in out-of-conference play? Who else can this men's basketball team knock off in out-of-conference play? And I tell you, let me pull up that out-of-conference schedule, right? So they still got UT Martin, Eastern Carolina, Tulane, Iowa State, Northern Iowa. They have North American. They have Rice, UTSA, and Texas A&M. So they have about another 9 out-of-conference games. A couple mid-major schools on this list. Listen, I think this team plays really good defense. It's a really good defensive team. And I think with that, they're going to always be in games. Teams are never going to be, I think never get too far because they create a lot of points off of turnovers. But the issue that this team is going to have is really finding consistent shooting, especially from the outside. That's the issue I'm seeing so far. And I've seen enough games now that I can feel pretty confident in saying this. Charles, this team is not a great ball handling team. It's not a great ball handling team. Charles Smith, I know that he's a go-to guy for this team. Coach Smith wants to go to him. He doesn't handle the rock as well as I wish he would, right? And so he's gonna definitely, he's gonna definitely turn the ball over because of that, and he has in the first couple of games. But if they can find some consistent scoring, especially getting out in the break, fast break, right, off of rebounds, they've done a good job of not being out rebounded in the majority of the games they play so far. They've done a good job on the boards, even though they're a smaller team. Against Washington State, they were out rebounded, but I think they definitely, if they can find some shooting touch outside, I think they're going to fare well in some of these out of conference games and take a couple more home. Richard says against Rice, Eastern Kentucky, UT Martin, and Northern Iowa. I think that's a pretty good mix, right? I think they're going to win it. I definitely think they're going to win a couple more out of conference games. Elvin said he got them for 2. So let's keep it going. Who has more receiving yards this game? Woo! Yeah, they don't shoot well from 3. They definitely don't. That's what I'm saying. From outside, mid range, they just not a good shooting team. Period. From what I've seen so far. So it's definitely important for them to get out in the break. Definitely important for them to be able to create points off turnover. That's really the lifeblood of this team. Getting to the goal, right? Getting teams in foul trouble. Good slashing team, etc. Right. So we got Eastern Kentucky there. But who gets more receiving yards this game? Shamar Savage or Keyshawn Johnson? Listen, these are two great receivers. They play well. Shamar is a big play receiver. He's been a big play receiver for this team this year. Multiple catches of over 40 plus, 50 plus yards, right? For Trezon, like I say, right, what we've seen is he doesn't have the volume of catches, but I mean, he averages, I believe, 22 yards a catch. So, right now he's sitting, I believe, number 7 in the SWAC in receiving yards, only playing 8 games and only having 18 catches. That's just, which is crazy to even think about that. The fact that he is even sitting in that position yardage wise when he's only played 8 games and he actually only has 18 receptions. That just shows you that he's been a big play receiver. But who you think gets more yards? Said Savage. We held Johnson to under 60 yards last year. Elvin says Johnson because he's going to get all the targets. That's the facts, right? Savage is going to be a savage on Saturday. So, yeah, this one is interesting. I think this one is actually going to be closer than many might think. I think it's going to be pretty close. I'm going to give it to Keyshawn, and the only reason is because the same thing that Elvin is saying. Alabama State makes it a point to get him the ball. He averages 6 catches a game. Shamar only averages 2 catches a game. Megatron Jr. needs the ball more, right? Like, if they have the same amount of targets, I'm going to give it to Savage, actually, right? Like, I would give it to Megatron Jr., but he's not going to have the same amount of targets as Keyshawn Johnson. That's where the problem lies, right? And so I'm going to give it to Keyshawn Johnson, but I would love to see, Savage have another great game. Which offense will have more yards this game? PV or Alabama State? Alabama State, of course, coming in with a highly, touted defense. They have some big corners, right? Which is why they're able to play that man-to-man style, very aggressive style. We've shown that we've been up and down. I mean, if I'm looking at an Alabama State and a Houston Christians defense, I take an Alabama State defense up to a Houston Christian, right? And look at what Houston Christian did to us, right? But this game is for all the marbles, though, right? So I'm expecting this team to come out and play well. But what do you think? Who has more yards of offense, PV or Alabama State? Again, PV has shown itself to give up yards too before. We've done a good job here and there at different times, but our defense has shown to be, Swiss cheese at times too. So it's really like a tale of two teams. You know, which PV is going to show up, which defense, which offense is going to show up, right? But I'm going to take it that we definitely get more yards, you know what I'm saying, this week. I think the defense definitely steps up and does their thing. Hey, you know, actually, David Murray had 2 catches last week. So that gives me hope that we'll throw to the tight end. You know what I'm saying? But will that be Dylan? I don't know. We're going to find out. Number 17, who has more tackles this game? Who gonna have more tackles? Colton Adams, of course, you know, Bubba, as they call him, leading the SWAC in tackles. I think he's leading, or he might be second in the SWAC to Rico Dozier, one or the other, right? Over 100 on the season, though, for sure. Keyshawn Johnson is leading us in tackles. You know, he's had some big tackle games, right? 9 tackles this past game. Who has the most tackles this game? I'm hoping that we put Bubba in coverage like we talked about earlier, and make him move around so that way, you know, he don't get as many tackles as he wants to. But I know that we're going to run the ball a lot. So I'm definitely taking Bubba on this because I've seen Keyshawn disappear. I've never seen Bubba disappear. I've never seen him disappear, right? So, yeah, Bubba's all over the field. You know what I'm saying? And say we will have the ball more. Yeah. All right. Keep it going. All right. It's a question. We talked about it a little bit last week, but I want to know again, right? We're in the same position as we were last year. Is this season a success if we don't make the SWAC championship? Which means we go 5-6, which means we have a losing record. Which means we lost the last game of the season, which means we lost the last game with the SWAC championship on the line for a second year in a row. Is this season a success if we don't make the SWAC championship game? It is nothing but no. All right. Listen, you got to make the SWAC championship game. You should have made the SWAC championship game 3 years in a row. And when you talk about changing narrative, when you talk about creating something different, when you talk about putting, you know, infusing pride into this fan base, that's a big thing. To make 3 SWAC championships in a row would be a huge thing, even if they wouldn't even won none of those. But just to get to 3 straight would have been huge. To say you're starting to dominate the West, that's huge, right? So you definitely got to make the SWAC championship game, especially in a down year like this. Dooley getting fired, like, bro, there's no reason you shouldn't be winning the West. It doesn't make any sense. Who do you expect to have a breakout game against Bama State? Is there anyone that you say, hey, I'm expecting big things from this specific player against Alabama State? Yeah, I feel you, right? You know what I'm saying? Dropping to the Cowboys. But again, I mean, we're in a position where, I mean, how many SWAC championship games have we been in the last 20 years, in the 20th century, right? So, you know, we trying to elevate, you know what I'm saying? So if we would at least start you can't win if you're not there, right? You're not in the game, you can't even win the game, right? So we got to at least get there. Said nobody. Man, that's just sad. That's just sad. Nobody. I'm hoping that we get a Brian Jenkins sighting. Dynamic in the slot. This is the time to let him go crazy. This is the game to let him go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Brian Jenkins is the guy I'm looking to step up and have a big game. He can have that game. It's really on us. It's really on the offensive coordinator. Really on Conley. You know what I'm saying? And last thing, what's the one thing we have to do to win this game? What is the one thing that we have to do if we're going to win this game? What is that thing? What is the one thing that you have to do to win this game? I got you. No problem. One thing, don't turn the ball over. Alabama State is not going to put up a lot of points But if you give them a short field, you're going to put our defense in such a bad position. Don't turn the ball over. If you would just do that, if we don't turn the ball over, we win this game. We can't turn the ball over. Yeah. Limit short fields. We need to score. Yeah. We gotta score to win for sure. Have more than 15 pass. Well, listen, Richard, we're not gonna win if we need more than 15 pass completions because we ain't gonna throw the ball but 16 times. And he's not gonna go 15 for 16. So that's an L. You know what I'm saying? But I hope we get 15 completions though. Limit penalties. All right. So we gotta keep those things in mind, and hopefully we can get it done. Because listen, talking about this Alabama State game, this is win or go home. I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. There's no point of going around the SWAC. There's no point of looking at other scores. There's no point of looking at other teams. There's no point of looking at other matchups. I don't care who Alcorn plays. I don't care who Jackson got. I don't care about Valley. I don't care about Bethune this week. Forget Southern. Forget Grambling. I don't care about the Bayou Classic. I don't care how many fans are there. I don't care how many times they've been in the SWAC titles. I don't care how many SWAC titles they done won in the history of the SWAC. I don't care how many times they done beat us. I don't care about no winning streaks. I don't care about none of that. Because it doesn't matter. If you don't beat Alabama State, you don't deserve to go to the SWAC championship game. Period. I don't care. I don't care about anything else. If you can't beat Alabama State, then let Alcorn go. You can't beat Bama State, then let Grambling go. Because you don't deserve to go to the SWAC championship game if for 2 years in a row you didn't take care of business. Because what's on the line? This is what's on the line. You want to be champions? You want to be him? You want to be that team that punches the SWAC in the mouth and makes people realize that this is not we don't do fifth place, and don't ever disrespect me like that again. You want that? Then you gotta win this game at home against Alabama State. You gotta take some pride in your heart. And us as fans, we gotta take pride in us and say, we're gonna go to the game, we're gonna get it rocking. Because listen, if we don't win this game, we don't deserve to go to the SWAC championship game. We don't deserve to go. It's no point. And at the end of the day, you know what's on the line? I couldn't put all the coaches on here, but that's what's on the line. Because if for 2 years in a row you couldn't get the job done, and last year you played against a team that was a worse team than the team you're playing this year. That's the reality. And you laid a goose egg. 7 points against Mississippi Valley. I don't care that it was in Itabena. I don't care about the field. You lost a game that you had to win to make it to the championship. And if you do that 2 years in a row, then listen. I mean, we're not Southern. Unfortunately, sometimes, right? We're not Southern, so it's not like ain't nobody raising funds enough to get Bubba out of his contract. But best believe, listen, you really you have 1 year left, and then it's bye. Listen, Clarence McKinley ain't getting fired. He not getting fired, but he not getting re-upped either. He ain't getting fired, but he ain't getting re-upped. He ain't getting no new contract. His contract has expired. And if Coach Bubba don't have this team ready to play and loses a home game against Alabama State, nothing he does next year can make up for 2 losses that would have took us to the SWAC championship game. Nothing can make up for it. So you're playing not just for yourself, man. Listen, we're playing for these people that we've been in the trenches with. Because if this team ain't ready to play, and if this team dropped this game again 2 years in a row, no, can't happen. So like I say, like we ain't like Southern because PV Nation ain't putting no money together to buy him out no contract, but you can be guaranteed he ain't getting re-up next year. Might as well start the search now. Might as well start the coaching search right now today because it's not happening. Because that would let everybody know this is not the guy for us. He can't get it done. He can't get it done. So let's talk about the keys to the game. On offense, where I talked about it, no turnovers. None. You can't have any. Don't put the ball on the ground this game, right? And listen, we've done well because outside of Conley, we haven't turned the ball over since I think I want to say Abilene Christian game. That's the last time I remember Ahmad Antoine putting the ball on the ground, Caleb Johnson putting the ball on the ground. Since then, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the only person that's turned the ball over is Conley, interceptions, and fumbles. That's it, right? So when we say no turnovers, we talking about Trey Young, you got to protect the ball. Got to take care of the ball. Number 2, man, listen, make your job easy. Use the underneath routes. Just give the playmakers a chance to make a play. And number 3, savage. Listen, give the ball to Megatron Jr. Let him go to work. Let him show the SWAC why he is one of the best prospects that's going to be coming out of this league, right? When we talk about the defense, first and foremost, where's Keyshawn? That's what we need to be asking all game long. Where is Keyshawn? That's it. Listen, I didn't come to talk to you. Where's your manager? Where's Keyshawn? That's who I came to talk to. That's who I'm looking for. I need to know where he's at all times. If they're running the ball, if they're going to throw him a screen, I need to know where he's at all times because he is their offense. He's their entire offense. And so we can't get lost and not realize that that's the guy we got to know where he's at all times. Number 2, long fields, no big plays. Don't give up any big plays. If you do that, you make this team have to drive long fields, you're going to win this game. No turnovers and long fields will wrap this game up for PV. And number 3, just like number 1, listen, where is Keyshawn Johnson? Where is he at? Know where he at all times. If he's sitting down on the sideline, just send somebody over there with him to sit on the sideline with them because you need to know where he's at all times. You know what I'm saying? Yes, feed the tight end under pressure. That's what we're talking about, right? Talking about using the underneath routes, right, on the offense. You know what I'm saying? Take the underneath routes. When we talk about players to watch, Jenkins and Savage needs to touch. If there's any game that you need to show us that you understand that these are the guys that need to touch the ball, this is the game to show it. Because these are the guys that need to touch the ball multiple times. They don't need to come out this game with 2 touches. If Brian Jenkins and Shamar Savage have more than 4 touches each this game, we win this game. Because both of these players are very explosive, and they're going to open it up for Bloomfield downfield, Spiller downfield. You got to give them the ball. And on defense, Seatbelt and Freddie Bird, because they're going to be the ones who have the assignment of knowing what Keyshawn is at all times. And if you keep him from making big plays, we're going to win this game. Talk about Alabama State. Of course, you got Damon Stewart, the quarterback. This is another game, man, when you need to have him under 100, under 150 yards passing. Of course, we talk about Keyshawn Johnson already so much. Know what he is, know what he look like. Take a picture, carry it with you, take it with you so you can always recognize him. Bubba Adams, he's going to do his thing. We expect him to fly around the field. If you can put him in coverage more, that's going to be great, right? Because, listen, that man can tackle. The man can play downfield. You need to make sure that he can cover, right? And it's a game to do that. And then you got Adrian Maddox on one side. You got Mikey Victor on the other side. 2 big corners, 6'3". This is why I say it's Savage time to shine. Savage. Big, powerful receiver. You know what I'm saying, that you got. It's time to use them and get all your worth. Now, score predictions. Drop your score predictions in the chat. And again, if anybody wants to jump on, share their thoughts. You guys see the phone number below, scrolling across the screen, 346-306-2017. Y'all can call in. Let me know y'all thoughts. But score predictions. We talked about the score of this game. I went back and forth. And I landed on 23-16. I mean, 20-16. I was thinking 23-16, but I think this defense is going to play well, but I can definitely see Alabama State getting in field goal range multiple times. And I think they're getting the end zone once. I think that we are getting the end zone 2 times, 2 field goals. I was thinking maybe 23-16, but I landed on 20-16. Alabama State has only given up 23 points once, and they've never given up over 23 points. And so I just can't see it happening. I would love for us to be the team that does it. I just can't see it happening. So I got it 20-16. So we got 21-17, Richard. 28-17 from Q. You know what I'm saying? 28-17 from Q. And then we got 27-21 from Elvin. 23-13 from Delvin. 35-17 Isaiah, I see it. And then 21-14 Mr. Kerry. So we got our first caller. What's going on? What's going on, caller? Can you hear me? So we got my first caller. What's going on? What's going on, caller?
What's up, man? I told you I was gonna hit you up, man.
What's
hey, man, I'm bringing all positive energy, man. We gonna take this. We're gonna do our thing, man.
So what do you think? What do you think is the main thing? Who do you think the main player is that we need to see this game? You know what I'm saying? Break out for us to make sure we get this win. This game, you know what I'm saying? Break out for us to make sure we get this win.
Man, I watched the game against Southern. I watched them play against Valley, and I watched them play against Alabama A&M. And man, if we could find a way to contain Keyshawn Johnson, I feel like we can do some work. I'm waiting to see Caleb Johnson, man. Where he been? Is he still hurt? I'm waiting to see.
I think he's still out.
I do want to get more touches to Savage and Jenkins. But right now I just take a win. So I think Conley got to play, man. He got to put his body on the line. He got to dive for first downs. He got to do it all this game, man. It starts and ends with him, in my opinion.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I think he can really make his job easy. I don't understand really why he don't take a lot of these shorter routes, man, because, you know, if he just trusts his playmakers, I mean, he'll average 200 plus yards a game. I mean, 225, 250 a game, easy, just by getting the ball to playmakers and letting them run after the catch, to be honest.
Exactly. And I remember Horton in basketball. We're going back to basketball. I remember Horton, man. Last year he was lighting a lot of teams up. He was all, I think, with Cliff Falls, he was all they had, man. But he's just short. That's the only thing. He's not a big guard. So from what I remember last year, a lot of SWAC teams have bigger guards. So I don't know how he's gonna hold up against these bigger guards, bigger players. But yeah, he was a hooper in high school. So I've been waiting to see him. I like Felix. He showed me a lot against ACU.
Yeah.
And I mean, they really thought they was gonna win that game too. I was listening to the commentators, and they was like shocked that, you know, he could ball like that. So I'm excited. I'm also excited to see the volleyball team. I seen your interview with Coach, and yeah, she talking that talk. So
yeah,
you know, I'm ready. I'm just proud to be a Panther, man. I like what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Man, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Elvin, for giving me a call. You know what I'm saying? Hope you enjoyed third place. You know what I'm saying? Don't be too mad at Richard, you know what I'm saying, for taking home the trophy in PV Fantasy this week. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, Richard already know I'm coming for him. He already know that. I don't know why he playing. He already know I'm coming for him.
All right. Well, man, I appreciate you calling in, man. You're the honorary, you know what I'm saying, for the first caller on the show. So appreciate you, man, and making it a good call.
I appreciate it, man. All
right, man.
Go Panthers.
Holler at you. Yeah, man. So we appreciate Elvin for calling in, checking us out. You know what I'm saying? Again, anybody else that's interested in jumping on, you know what I'm saying, the call-in number is below. Richard is saying you can't see him. Can't see him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the season tickets on sale right now. I definitely can't wait to get out to some of the games, you know what I'm saying, especially some of the SWAC games. I'm super excited about that, you know what I mean? So, let's keep it going, man, and talk about that basketball, man. So we got women's and men's basketball going on right now. They are, you know what I'm saying, 3-1. Now they won this last game. And so they're 3-1 right now. You know what I'm saying? They are, you know, won against Houston Tillotson. They won a game against McNeese 85-70, and also dropped the game against Tulane 71-46. And we'll talk about it in a second. So got our second caller just picking up. What's going on? Let me get you on. You know what I'm saying? All right, you on. Is this Mr. Kerry? What's going on, man?
How you doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you got me now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. What's going on?
Oh, okay. We got a little delay. I couldn't hear you on the phone.
Yeah, there's a slight delay. Sound like it's coming in, but yeah, man. Let me know your thoughts. What you want to share your thoughts on?
Yes. Oh, I was just saying we gonna have to make sure we don't fall for the eye candy on defense. It looks like the bees like to run a little misdirection.
Yeah.
And they do some RPO. So we got to make sure we keep gap integrity and don't let them get outside. And like you said, watch Keyshawn. They run the ball with him and throw it to him.
Yeah, they use him in a lot of different ways, and that honestly, that's what I'm saying. When I look at how Alabama State uses Keyshawn, right? I'm saying we need to be just as particular on how we say we're gonna get the ball to Juice, how that we're gonna get the ball to Savage, right? Like we need to be just as particular, like Alabama State is particular to say, hey, I'm gonna get him the ball, whether it's through the air or whether I gotta give him a chance to run, use a misdirection. Like I wish we would do the same thing when it came to our playmakers as well. You know what I'm saying? And I think we'll have an entirely different offense if we did that more often.
Yes. And as long as we throw underneath, because they're linebackers, even if they're not blitzing, they play far off the line on pass play. So Connolly should be able to run for at least 6 to 8 yards if he runs, and we should be able to get the underneath pass.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that he does that this game, man. This is the game, definitely, like Elvin said earlier. You know what I mean? If there's any game where you say like, hey man, I'm gonna take a chance, right, to go for that, you know, that first down. I'm gonna take a chance to go for the end zone here. I think that's what we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he gotta do in order to go ahead and help us to get the win. You know what I'm saying, this game. So yeah, man. Any thoughts about the basketball team so far?
Well, I'll be there looking for them. I'm driving from Grand Prairie round trip, so we'll be there. Oh, basketball looks good. I'm excited. I know we're not the biggest team, but we give teams a hard time. So I'm excited for the basketball season.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, man. Well, I appreciate the call. Thank you for calling in, man. You know what I'm saying? Number 2. You know what I mean? So appreciate you always checking out the show too, man. And like you say, man, go Panthers. Hopefully get this win this weekend. Yes, sir. So let's get into it, man. Talk about these games that the Lady Panthers just had. So their first game, this actually is Houston Tillerson. Of course, Ryan Payne, 18 points this game, had 6 assists, 3 steals. Geraldine Smith, 10 points, 11 rebounds, a double-double, right? She's just been a double-double killer so far. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 steals for Jessica Sodders. Houston Tillerson only had 2 players in double figures. Definitely bust the shot clock this game. Every player on the team scored. Every active player on the team scored this game, and they had 5 players in double figures. So this is definitely just a rout and a massacre. Second game was against McNeese State. Good game against another out-of-conference team, right? Another D1 opponent, right? That's a mid-major in the same level as you. And listen, they got the job done. 15-point win. Another 18 points for Ryan Payne, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Geraldine Smith, another double-double, 16 points, 11 rebounds. And Desiree Lewis had a sighting, 12 points, 8 rebounds. Amari Williams, which is a transfer from Vanderbilt, 9 points and 10 rebounds. So the ladies, man, are just killing it on the boards. 44 points off the bench in this game, and they outscored McNeese by 42 points in the paint, right? So literally, I mean, they again, this team has completely changed its mindset, a completely different, way of going about playing this year for Coach Pugh, and getting the ball down low, getting the ball in the paint. So 66 points in the paint, that's crazy. That's obviously a completely different style of ball, right? Again, against Tulane, this last game, very bad shooting game, right? This definitely was a game that they did not shoot well at all. 20% from 3, 28% from the floor. Only 10 points in the paint. So again, away from their strength. So the Lady Panthers just, played a bad game overall, especially, in getting the ball in the bucket. Kyrene Whittington with 20 points on this game, 7 rebounds, and Amiri Mabry from Tulane with 14 points and 9 rebounds. Didn't have any the ladies in double figures this game. So LaPhaedra Green led the team with 8 points, 6 rebounds. Ryan Payne, 7 points. But again, nobody shot well this game. And so the Lady Panthers take the loss. Definitely, definitely this is a good Tulane team. They were playing with only 9 players this game. But I think, if we could have shot a little bit better, I think we could have stayed in the game. I also saw, in this game, we definitely are an unselfish team. We love to get everybody involved, but I think they're a little bit too unselfish this game. We had a lot more turnovers than I think we should have had if we would have just went ahead and took some shots that we had, and when we in range, especially getting into the paint, we tried to make an extra pass and end up having a lot more turnovers than I think we definitely wanted for this game. But it was a good test against the Tulane team. Of course, we got the win tonight. So again, this team is 3-1 with a couple home games against Incarnate Word and Washington State coming up. So we talk about what they got next. North American was tonight. For this next week, we got that win, 101-44. And then Washington State, we play them on the 19th, which is on Monday, right? So Washington State at home in the Baby Dome on ESPN Plus. So make sure you check that game out too as well, because I'm excited to see them going up against Washington State, which is a top 25 team, right? So I think that'll be a good matchup. Talk about the men's team, 2-2, right? 2-2 right now on the season. And so they definitely had some good games this past week as well. Played Seattle tough. Seattle University 71-60 loss, right? 11-point loss there. Washington State 83-65 loss. 18-point loss. And then a big win over Abilene Christian out of conference, 79-74, right? Again, showing that this team can play, right, with other mid-majors, right? And then we can be competitive again. We had a couple players get hurt in that Seattle game. Hopkins went out. Horton is also out now. And so we definitely aren't playing with our full strength. But, the backups definitely played well. And, I think Byron Smith is learning who he got on this team, right? So let's talk about, some of the stats, right? Number one, right? Listen, Seattle, Tyson, that guy can shoot, man. Listen, that guy can shoot 3 or 4 from 3-point range, right? Just daggers. Him and Christopher were 6 of 10 from the 3-point line. So they shot 60%. They just was killing it, right? So 18 for John Christopher, 15 for Tyson, 15 for Caden Hunter as well. So this team played very well, right? They spread the ball across the board. Nick Gonzalez led the team this game with 16 points. Charles Smith also had, I believe it should be 15 points. I believe he had this game against Seattle. But he also had 6 turnovers, right? That was really big, right? Giving the ball away 6 times was a big thing too. Seattle as a team shot 37.5% from 3. We shot 18% from 3 and only 30% from the floor. So again, bad shooting game. And anytime you can't put the ball in the bucket, you're going to have trouble. We look at the Washington State game. Charles Smith showed up, 22 points, 5 rebounds. We had our first Chris Felix sighting with 15 points. And Nick Gonzalez had 11 points. Of course, we still got the loss right. Washington State shot 53% from the floor, and they outscored us in the paint by 22 points, right? And so that's huge. And again, we talk about some of these games against some of these bigger conference teams, going to see a lot more bigger teams across the board, especially the front line. We probably going to have a little bit more trouble when it comes to points in the paint, when it comes to, offensive rebounding, etc. That's just what we got to live with being a smaller team. Isaac Johns, 18 points. Miles Rice had 15. And Jake Kamovsky and Andre had 14 points as well as 9 rebounds that he added for Washington State in that game. So talk about the big win against ACU. Chris Felix and Andre Nunley were masterful, right? 25 points and 6 rebounds for Chris Felix, 22, 6, and 4 for Nunley, right? Charles Smith dropped in 13. And then Brian Miles continued to play well, continued to be a big presence down low, 8 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks, right? And he definitely, in the last part of the game helped rebounding wise, helped to one shot. He definitely helped to deflect down in the last 2-3 minutes of the game. And so he definitely played big down low for us. And he's going to continue to be a big and really important piece for us, right? Because, we aren't super big, but he's one of the most athletic players on this team, and he's going to have to be there to help challenge shots at the rim. We had Ali Abdu with 16 points for Abilene Christian, Hunter Jack 14, and then Cameron Steele dropped in 7 points and 9 rebounds. That was a great job, right? Especially on the defensive end throughout this game. And look, 33 or 34 from the free throw line is crazy. And 22-0 points off of turnovers, right? Abilene Christian, I think, turned us over 14 times. We turned it over 15 times, but they scored no points off of turnovers. That's big. That's huge, right? And obviously, if you see the score, big reason for us winning this game, right? And so, again, I'm super excited to see this men's team continue to play. They got some action this upcoming week, too. UT Martin, right? This is actually going to be a game that's in the same gym as Eastern Kentucky, right? So there's going to be a neutral site game against UT Martin. That's going to be on Monday on ESPN Plus, and then Eastern Kentucky on November 21st, which is going to be Wednesday. So 2 games coming up for this week for the men's team. 1 more game for the women's team. And yeah, I think we can win both of these games. I think we're going to be in both of these games. I think these are teams that that we should be able to play with. Again, the question is going to be, can we get consistent scoring from the outside? I think that's really the big thing when it comes to us and what we need to do. So that's just a recap of the men's and women's basketball weeks. Again, we're almost in full swing for basketball season. Only a couple of weeks of football season left. A volleyball, of course, is going to be done this weekend. As I want to remind you, get out to the game, show support for the volleyball, SWAC volleyball in general, right? All the games are going to be on the SWAC digital network. So put your eyes on the product, right? Show support, but also be there for the Lady Panthers who play at 4 o'clock tomorrow on Friday, right? With a match against Texas Southern, TSU, the rival Third Ward Community College, right? To start out the SWAC tournament. So preferably we get that win, probably have FAMU, then probably have Alabama State take home a SWAC title. So I'm excited to see that this weekend we're going to have 2 teams in SWAC championship games. One is going to be on Sunday. The other is going to be in 2 weeks. But I think we get the job done, right? And so, again, we thank you guys, you know what I'm saying, for jumping on. Pastor Vic said he got Bama State in the game. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I'm sorry that you're choosing the wrong team because it ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to happen, right? It's going to be the big Panther win. You know what I'm saying? We're going to welcome them to Wakanda. You feel me? This week. So definitely appreciate that. What's going on, Doc Holiday? You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you for jumping on and joining the show. You know what I mean? If you want to jump on before we close out, man, you can call in. You see the call in number at the bottom of the screen, 346-306-2017. If anybody else want to call in before we get out of here, you know what I'm saying? So appreciate all the call-ins today. You know what I'm saying? First call in of the show. You know what I mean? Trying something new. Definitely good to be able to hear you guys share your thoughts, you know what I'm saying, on Wax 2 as well. PV by 20. Hey, man, listen, I take it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be by 20, but I take it. I hope it's by 20, though. You know what I'm saying? We did drop the score predictions earlier. You know what I'm saying? I had it 20-16. We had 21-17 from Richard. You know what I'm saying? 28-17 from Q. 27-21 from Elvin. 23-13 Delvin. We had Isaiah saying 35-17 was, listen, that's a big win because this team, Alabama State, hasn't given up over 23 points in a game, right? So that would be crazy. 21-14 Kerry. So, you know, I think we all kind of in the same range here as far as the score we think is going to be. But it's definitely going to be a tough fought game. But I think what's going to be the most surprising is people coming looking for Alabama State's defense. When they get there, they're going to find the Panther defense. You know what I'm saying? They're going to find that, you know what I'm saying, vibranium shield defense, you feel me? You know what I'm saying, from Wakanda. So, well, with all that being said, man, I thank you guys for joining and jumping on the show. If you haven't done it yet, please like and subscribe to the channel. Share this so people know that this is a place for PV Nation. Well, like I always say, right, we're not the side conversation. We're not the side dish. We're the main course at all times. You know what I'm saying? That boy Doc Holiday got it 34-14 PV. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I would take your score over my score, okay? So I definitely hope that happens and that's how it falls out. But at the end of the day, what I'm going to take is a win, period. 1 point, 20 points, 18 points, it doesn't matter. I'm going to take the dub, right? So we can get back to the SWAC championship game and so that we can face FAMU, right? Just like it's supposed to be. So what I'm waiting for is to get back to this. You know what I'm saying? This is what I need to see Sunday morning is the SWAC putting this out. If I don't see this, if we don't win, we don't deserve to go to the championship game. So with that being said, man, I appreciate you all for jumping on the show. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much for always showing and being appreciative of what we got going here. Let's keep it going for PV Nation. This weekend is big for us. 2 champions about to come out in the same weekend. So until next time, I'll see y'all later. Holla.